I'll start explaining my presentation. In Japan, the tourism industry has been attracting attention due to the increase in tourists from overseas. However, not all tourist destinations have benefited from it. To make matters worse, it seems to keep growing, it declined sharply. This research analyzes the problems that have occurred and proposes new methods to solve them. Currently, regional population is decreasing because declining birth rate, aging population, and emigration to the city is progressing. Look at this figure. This figure shows the cumulative population that has moved from each area. You understand that people who live in region migrated to the city. For such problem, local governments are taking various measures. Our law takes notice of agriculture and tourism too. In regional tourism, they concentrate new tourism to have new events. Also, there are examples for success by having tourists promote local specialties and facilities. So we research how to make region flourishing by tourism. We researched the issues of regional tourism. Then I found the three issues. These are the problems that have been since the old days and will have a serious impact on it. I'll briefly explain about these. In Japan, natural disasters have increased in recent years. They have caused damage in wide area. For example, earthquake, volcanic eruption, typhoon, etc. Such disasters are increasing as shown by the red line in the graph. It can be said that tourists are more likely to encounter natural disasters. If tourists have a disaster, what action will they take? In Hokkaido earthquake occurred in 2018. The tourists from overseas had troubles which are no way to get information. The cause is that the mobile phone could not be charged, and the power of communication base stations was lost. The information was provided in Japanese, so they can't understand. We found that the methods using the internet are very used from researching what uses the earthquakes. Looking at the graph below, recent earthquakes using the internet more than the past. This is probably due to the fact that the internet has become more convenient. Therefore, the importance of mobile devices will increase. Tourists will find mobile devices encouraging if they have them, which get information from the internet in any situations. Next, about the destinations of tourists. From this figure, tourists have concentrated famous tourist spots. The 60% of them are visited to these spots. These spots have world-famous heritage and specialties, but regional areas don't always have these. Is it possible to turn the attention of tourists to local tourism? We research tourist travel purpose. Then, nature tourism and climate food are ranked high. Japan has many forests, and various crops grow depending on climatic environment. For this reason, there are local specialties in rural areas. As mentioned at the beginning, these can become famous by tourists and become tourism resources. In other words, there is a high possibility that tourism resources to attract tourists are slipping just because they are not efficiently used in rural areas. Therefore, We will try to differentiate ourselves from other tourist destinations by finding and utilizing tourism resources only in that area. I think that advertising this will lead to attracting tourists. Until this slide, I explained problems which had been existed until now. But we must deal with what happened this year so. Coronavirus had a great impact not only tourism, but around the world. Our daily life has changed, and more people are switching from public transportation as shown in the graph on the right. Tourism must respond to such changes in tourist consciousness. The summary is as follows. Tourism needs a new system that allows to receive services and information that can be used in any situation. It will help tourist travel that anyone can use at a disaster. As I mentioned at the beginning, there may be tourism resources that even local residents are unaware of. In order to grow as an attractive tourist destination, it is necessary to have a means to efficiently find tourism resources. These need to be measured against the coronavirus and systems that can also be used in the local tourism industry. From these things, it can be said that it is necessary to develop a platform that provides information and new services. Therefore, this research proposes a new IoT service with coronavirus countermeasures. It is an IoT tourism service centered on bicycles. The bicycles are suitable at transportation and tourist destinations because they are less crowded than public transportation and can travel a wider area than walking. Also, our research improves the efficiency of sightseeing tours using bicycles by voice guidance. I think bicycles and IoT will solve these problems. Our proposal system provides more information. The cloud server stores collected data from tourist spots and provides services. The communication between tourists, tourism facilities, and cloud server use new developed communication systems. Tourists use it which is designed to use even in all situations and can get information. As tourists travel around the tourism area, they will discover tourism resources that the local residents have not noticed. If the system collects them and provide to tourism organizations, they can get materials for tourism promotion without hassle. This system will enhance the attractiveness of tourist destinations by providing necessary information to each other by tourist organizations. The proposed system needs to develop from communication systems to servers and devices. Therefore, we develop device, extender, system and app. Each devices are needed to collect information and provide services to tourists. At first, I explain about our communication system. System is used private LoRa. This is a communication protocol which communicates wider and lower power than the other methods. This is very susceptible to the communication environment. In our experience, this has a communication area of about a few kilometers in radius. But the tourist area is even larger than this. Therefore, we need to develop to be able to communicate wider than this. To achieve this, we have improved it using merge hop technology. Merge hop technology is a way for neighbor-foreign devices to communicate with each other like a packet relay. We can extend communication area only by installing devices. This is easy to build in mountains area. Also, in anticipation of future problems, we designed it to prevent it from overflowing. When a device receives the same data, it discards. This is improved reliable because the same data doesn't crawl in the network. This system is configured by these devices and anything. LPWA tag is collected information about tourist and send it to extender as a tag or connected phones. The extender's relay receives data to other devices. It operates on solar power. The system uses other communication protocol to connect cloud server. A gateway changed the format of private LoRa to 3G. Cloud server utilizes this for services and provides the app by any line. The app provides the received data as a service that users can use. The data is exchanged by this communication system. The more extenders are installed in tourist area, the more reliable the data will be transmitted. We plan to achieve research goals by services using this system. There are three better services which our system provides. First, it is managing rental bicycle service easily. The conventional them isn't always profitable due to high operating costs. This system provides new managing methods for rental bicycle. I could explain this later. Second, we provide tourist information based on the latest information on the tourist spots. The content of the information includes not only event information at tourist spots, but also information based on the degree of crowding of tourists. We are planning to provide services that assume tourism in after corona. Third, to provide evacuation information that anyone can use in the event of a disaster and an emergency. In the past disaster, tourists couldn't act because they could not understand the evacuation information. Therefore, we will provide an evacuation route guidance service using a map. Tourists from any place can evacuation because it guides them using figures instead of words. This information is exchanged by our system. This disaster-resistant system will thoroughly deliver information to tourists. We have developed devices and services for tourism. This presentation describes recent experience of rental bicycle services. Our rental bicycle managing system manages easier than any other system. It uses QR code and LPWA tag. Each QR codes are related to each bicycle. Tourists read this QR code by app to borrow it. This is recorded by their cloud server and LPWA tag equipped over bicycle. This record is used by services that facilitate payment of usage fees and management of bicycles. The cheap system using LPWA tag will work as diligent as any system. We experimented the system on the assumption that tourists will use this service. We built the LPWA network by installing extenders each presets before the experiment. We reproduced the flow of traveling around the tourist spots using our system. At this time, Cloud Server has user and routed who use bicycle. If you have this, you can apply it to bicycle usage fee settlement and various services. We reckon success if this data is recorded on Cloud Server. We use the bicycles at Archive Tourist Information Center. The bicycles can be rated by scanning the QR code provided with the app, like this figure. At this time, the app sends user and brought bicycles data to Cloud Server and LPWA tag. LPWA tag becomes to reject the borrowing process from other users. The figure shows the location data saved in the Cloud Server on the map. We started the experiment at Archive Tourist Information Center. I moved the road in the order of the numbers along the arrow. While on the move, the Cloud Server can get the data. As a result, we built a rental cycle service system for use. In addition, each acquired data will be used for services that will be developed in the future. In this way, we are researching a method that allows tourists to guide tourist spots without hesitation. For that reason, we propose a system, the new IoT tourism system using LPWA. I explain about the services and the examination. There are many services that I did not cover this time, but I have omitted the explanation. In the future, we will work on the completion of the rental bicycle services and the implementation of services that utilize cloud server data. This concludes my presentation. Thanks for listening.